We got Kevin Holland back here on the program, who's coming off an impressive win this past weekend at UFC Beijing. It gets its submission victory over John Phillips. Kevin, what's going on, man? How are you?
Man, I'm pretty good, brother. How about you? How you doing?
I'm doing very well, man. It's good to catch up with you again. And what a fight that was on Saturday. People got up early to check it out, or they caught the replay. You took on John Phillips. You get the first UFC victory. First thing I wanted to know, heading into the fight, I know he's an SBG guy. There was, he was a notable guy in terms of like an opponent. What was the game plan heading in there?
Uh, my corner and the team, coming from Travis Looters, they wanted to see the takedown and the rear naked choke. That's what they wanted to see right off the back. Like I said before, a local guy and Charles Bird had did the same thing, and it was the easy way out. It was a smart way in there and out of there. But you know me, I like to have a good time. I wanted to talk a little. I wanted to smack, So my game plan was simply to go in there and prove that I was the striker that I am, and then choke him out. But I was hoping I could secure the knockout. I hit him with a body shot, and he said, ah. And then I smacked him a couple of times. And the only thing I could think of was that movie Casino, where he was torturing the Irish guy. And I was like, you're going to make me squeeze your eyes out? You're going to make me squeeze your eyes out? And the boy didn't want to stop. So very, very tough, man, John Phillips. And it was wonderful, wonderful fight. Tough Irishman.
Yeah, no, very, very durable guy. You mentioned the trash talk. That was probably my favorite part of this fight because I could hear you talking to him in the cage. What were you saying as you're, landing these shots and everything? Because you could kind of make out a little bit of it, but what were some of the things you said in there?
It was, I say a lot of things. I say a lot of things. Some things I remember, some things I don't remember. One thing I remember clear as day. It made me laugh to start the second round off. I went out there and I was like, "Fuck Khabib," and he was like, "Fuck Khabib," and so I thought that was hilarious. So it was pretty awesome. He's just a good guy. He cracked me at one point in time and put me on my ass. I looked up at him and he was like, "Get up." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I got up and I said, "Good man, bad mistake." And then, just a good old fight, good old fashioned fight. You know what I mean? Talk a little bit. I'm big mouth. I run my mouth and we get to talking and then we get to working. That's how we do it.
What did you say to him after the fight? It was something about proper 12. I can't remember exactly what you said, but what was the message?
I let him know that was a proper fight.
Okay.
That was a proper fight. That was a very proper fight, and I enjoyed it. And I told him he was a tough guy, good fight. And then he let me know, sucks that we didn't get, a little bit longer prepared, but I think that we had long enough. It was long enough for me, so it was a good scrap. And just giving the man props, good guy.
I know in the post-fight interview you were kind of like, look, I want to just go and celebrate and enjoy this win. So we didn't get a chance to hear who is next for you. Do you have anyone in mind as far as the next opponent?
Man, you know what? I'm not really good at picking and choosing right now at this point in time because everybody I want has a name, So it's like whoever they line up. I'm just trying to get through the first contract so I can get to the big checks. I want to smack them all. Everybody's on the hit list. I really would like the Darren Stewart fight. He beat a local recently, and and he did it here. He came to Texas, beat somebody, and then ran off. I don't like that, bro. So the way I look at it is, it'd be nice to put the dentist's teeth on my roster. You know what I mean? Put them up on my shelves. That'd be awesome. You know what I mean? But whoever they give me, they can get a smacking. I hear Ian Heinrich has been running his mouth too. So if I don't catch him on this contract, I'll catch him on the next one if he sticks around. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. I wanted to ask you about that. Ian said that he was offered you at UFC Denver, and you said no. I want to hear it from you. What exactly happened there?
So I said yeah. I wanted to fight 100%. I wanted to fight. I was like, that same bum that used to fight for Legacy. I was like, I know who that is. I was like, I could have beat him back then. I'm gonna beat him now. It's like I've gotten better. And then quote unquote, I heard, oh, Ian Heinrich has gotten better. I looked at the fight. He still looked like the same freaking bum to me. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing changed. Same bum. Change the altitude. So the manager didn't like the fight. The manager turned the fight down. If I had to say, it was probably good managing skills, to fight Ian in his backyard on literally 10 days, 14 days notice. That's no real camp. And, we were promised a little bit more of a camp, getting ready for the next fight. So the manager wanted to stay tuned to that. He said it's more important to get a win right now than it is to prove something. So I went out there and proved something and got a win. But I got the finish too. I don't think Ian got a finish in his last fight.
No, it was the decision. You're correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So he needs to keep his fucking mouth shut, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? So he's just simply, he should remain quiet. He's not ready. He's not ready. But when the time comes, I will cash in on his head for a nice payday. It will happen.
Is there a card you're looking at for next year? Because they've announced some of the schedule right now. Is there something?
Anaheim, California.
Oh, you won on that card on the 26th. So I guess you'll still stay ready during the holidays because I know it's the end of January, but you gotta still probably be in shape and everything and all that.
Holiday, Christmas, nah, man. I buy stuff on Christmas. I don't eat.
Yeah.
I'm ready, man. I'm not really that huge at 205. I mean at 185. I came in the fight once again at like 194, but it wasn't that much to eat in Beijing. I'm back home. I blew up to 205, but this is about as heavy as I can get. So and I have the Ornate Jiu-Jitsu tournament coming up at 205. So it's like I have to stay right here at 205. So that means I get to pig out for a little while. But no, heavy, I don't get too heavy. I'm ready to go whenever. You know what I mean? As long as it's not in Ian's backyard with altitude, my manager accept the fight any other time. He's a bum. He's a bum. He's getting smacked.
Okay, sounds good. As far as recovery, I know that's a big part of after the fight. What are you taking right now? What's getting you through camp?
Man, you know what? Straight up, it gets me through every day living. Terphouse, baby, CBD oil. I keep it going. I'm actually out of CBD gum, so I need to get some of that ASAP. That'd have been nice to have over there in Beijing. But no, CBD, terp it up, man. Terphouse all day, every day. And then I use the punch junk for my hands as well. So, me, man, I'm just keeping it to the basics. Those are the two things that I really enjoy. You can take the Terphouse, you can take the drop, you can put it in your morning tea. I like tea. A lot of people like coffee. I like to drink a little bit of tea in the morning. I take a couple drops, put it in there, and I'm usually typically good to go. Keeps me right and keeps me tight. I don't need anything besides that. A little bit of CBD, a little bit of punch junk for sore hands, and man, I'm A1 day one.
We heard the news yesterday that it looks like Sage Northcutt is no longer going to be from the UFC. He's a Texas guy just like yourself. What was your reaction to that? Do you think they made the right choice, moving on without him, or do you think they should have kept him?
You know what? I think this fits for not only the UFC, but it fits for Sage as well. I mean, if the UFC says they didn't want him right this second, he's still very young. I think Sage is a little younger than me. I've actually been to Sage's house before to help him for the Mickey Gall fight. So, if Mickey Gall wants to fight at 75, I'll make that extra too. But nah, I think it's good for Sage. I really think it's good for Sage. I think it's good for everybody involved. Sage has a chance to come back later on in his career and really say something. His story is not yet to be done written. You know what I mean? He's been in the UFC, but there's been people who's been in the UFC before, left for a little while, came back, and were 10 times better. I think with the Sage Northcutt story, I think that's what happens. I think he leaves now better than whatever was before. A little bit more older and worth a lot more money. I mean, the guy could always go act. I mean, come on, it's Sage Northcutt, dream kid to be. He looks like freaking Ken Barbie or something like that. So, nah, hats off to Sage. I think he's gonna make a lot of money outside of the UFC, and I actually believe that he'll be back one day. Hope he gets a few movie roles. I'd love to see him in some movies.
Yeah, he should have got that Apollo Creed one or the Drago because he's got that same haircut and everything. And
he looks more like Drago than the other guy. I think it made the guy super big. I think Sage would have been big enough, and I think they kind of overdid it with the Drago guy. But good movie. I haven't get to see it yet, but I hear it's a good movie, so I'm probably gonna go check that out. So I won't making bad statements, But yeah, I think that move for Sage is a really good move on both ends. I think he's something to come back later on and really be a hell of a story.
Well, we're looking forward to your story when that continues next year. Kevin, again, congratulations on getting the first UFC victory. Just remind people where they can find you on social media. And if you got any sponsors or shout outs, man, the floor is yours.
All right, man. So you guys can find me at Trailblaze to the Top on Instagram and Twitter. But I don't control the Twitter. So if it ain't as spicy, you know why. Another thing, go ahead and check us out on Facebook, too. We're going to be starting a little clothing page so you guys can get you some Trailblazer gear, some TV. But Terphouse, of course, I want to get a shout out to Terphouse. Man, I love the CBD oil. It's the best one on the market so far for me. And then definitely want to give out the shout out to Punch Junk, J. Douglas Roofing, and Jim Ross Law Group, Specimen Fight Gear, and Loaded Pistols, man. I've been wearing this hat every day. It's good for my motorcycle. I like it when I'm in the car. I like it all the time. And Reebok, throw me some more gear.